The beacons are lit, city! The beacons are lit!
Night gathers, and now my watch begins. It shall not end until my death.
Remember it well, then, this night.
Do not cite the deep magic to me, witch. I was there when it was written.
Call the banners.
All of them, my lord.
They've all sworn to defend my father, have they not?
They have.
Now we see what the words are worth.
But take heart. Look around you. You're not in this fight alone. We face our enemy together. And together, we will defeat them.
By all that you hold dear on this good earth, I bid you stand! Men of the West!
Oh, I love it.
Good job.
Nice.
How are y'all doing tonight?
Good, man.
I'm good, man.
Okay, yeah. So I've got 3 or 4 things to add to it. Let's see. I think I started that about 8 a.m. I finished it about noon, and then I went to take a nap. So it's a work in progress. I got some stuff to add to it, but I'm really happy with the way it turned out.
Yeah, it's looking good.
So our first.
Make me want to redo mine.
So how was everyone's weekend?
Good. Boring. Just did some work.
Yep.
Yep.
Weekend was good for me. Very productive. Very good. Heck yeah.
Same. Just work and video stuff and video games.
There you go.
And it's funny that I start that by talking about video games because that's going to be one of our first topics tonight. Is video games and the lack of shit. Well, actually, I guess the amount of shit we have.
Yeah.
I probably spent in the last week. I probably spent 10 hours, maybe even more, scrolling through Steam and the Xbox app, and there's nothing. Everything that I have any desire to play is more than 3 years old, and half of it is probably about 15 years old.
Yeah, and I don't think, personally, I'm looking forward for anything except for GTA 6 maybe, which got pushed out, I think, again, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, speaking of 6, did anybody see that news about Elder Scrolls 6?
Nope.
No, I didn't.
Okay.
I would be excited for that, though.
I wasn't planning on talking about it, which is the only reason I don't have it pulled up.
Pull it up, Jamie.
But okay,
Don't have access here.
so I can't find it, but it was here we go. I found it. Present.
That's a good point, Nikki.
Yeah, I totally
Yes.
agree.
It's a good point.
Although I don't find myself wanting to continue to play Hogwarts after I had already played it.
So
I think
this is extremely telling. That Bethesda announced Elder Scrolls 6 so early because fans came with pitchforks. They were so scared that we wouldn't play Starfield or we wouldn't play their Fallout 76, that they released a teaser trailer, which is the can't believe I'm gonna say this, the teasiest of teaser trailers I've ever seen. And
I don't even remember it.
It's literally just like you're looking into a valley of I forget what the place is called.
Tamriel.
And do what?
Tamriel.
Tamriel. Okay, I was going to call it Tamriel, which is, I think, from Narnia. And so you're looking in that valley, and all of a sudden, font scrolls in that says Elder Scrolls 6.
Right. It was just something quickly ran through the the generator.
Yeah. And real quick, I can't believe I forgot to do this, but hello to the chat. Matt, Nikki, Daimyo's here, Dog's here, Crimson Law, and RG Energy has just joined. Hello, everyone. Thank you for being here. I feel bad for not saying that. But this blows my mind. You know, we've got companies making millions of dollars, billions of dollars. Hogwarts Legacy made over $1 billion before on just what's up, Sundowners, on just the new consoles alone, on just PC, PS5, and Xbox Series X.
So that's not even including PC sales, huh?
No, yeah, that includes PC sales.
Oh.
But it doesn't include, you know, the previous generation and Switch, which I believe comes out in 10 days.
Gotcha.
But Nikki's completely right. Survivor was so disappointing. I was so pumped up for that. I thought that
was like in the beginning
year,
but then I fell off.
Yeah, it just, I mean, it was a fine concept, but they really fumbled the ball in the way they handled it.
The game for the first one would have been phenomenally better if it was like up to par with the gameplay of the second one, in my opinion. The story just kind of got like, I didn't even finish it. I got kind of annoyed.
Yeah,
with
it didn't work. It didn't help the fact that half the graphics were just off.
Yeah, I mean, that was a problem too with the first one. I'm surprised they didn't like fix that, because a lot of that shit was happening in the first one. And look, I played that game like 5 times, to be honest, because I just
me too.
I enjoyed it. You know,
I like that game too. What killed me about the first one is how bad the Wookiees look.
Yeah, that's
so
fair. But dude, that level is so fun, Kashyyyk.
Oh yeah.
And Dathomir is so fun to roam around in.
Yeah.
Todd Howard would release Skyrim for TI-84 if he could make money off of it. And he would make money off of it. Because I would rather play Skyrim in my calculus class than actually doing calculus.
Oh, that's the calculator. I see.
How do you honestly think Bethesda would turn out? It's Bethesda, right?
Yeah.
How do you think they would turn out Elder Scrolls 6? Like, do you think it's going to be a disappointment in the sense of how that latest game just came out?
So it depends. If Microsoft allows Todd Howard to lie again, I think it would be a disappointment. And when I say lie, Todd Howard came out years ago and said that Starfield was going to have thousands of explorable systems, that you were going to be able to land anywhere and just walk. Which, as anyone that's played the game knows, is not what we actually got. We did get thousands of systems, I think. Hundreds at least. But they were not completely explorable.
Mm-hmm.
And the biggest problem is there's a video game guy a while back that what's up, Spud? That coined the idea that you should never have any point of interest more than 40 seconds from the other point of interest. And Starfield did the exact opposite. It takes about 5 minutes on average to walk from one point of interest to another. So they do that both to make the map feel bigger and to kind of prevent you from wanting to run all over the place. Which sucks. And the other thing that sucks is you have to run everywhere. This is Space Age. Give me a freaking bike.
Yeah, definitely.
I thought there's a jetpack though.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but that fuel runs out pretty quickly. And then, of course, my biggest gripe with Starfield was the fact that you were forced into the New Game Plus. a Bethesda
How
game
so?
with New Game Plus. So, I mean, it's been long enough. So the story basically ends with you having to pick a side between these these guardians of the artifacts. I don't really know how to describe them. But you've got to pick a side. You either have to go with the side that wants to control everything, the side that doesn't want to use them at all, or you go off on your own and say, I'm going to kill you both and I'm going to do whatever I want.
Right.
And then once you pick that choice, you are forced into going through certain things and you become a Starborn, which puts you basically back at the beginning.
Yeah, it's a little.
So you restart.
So going back, like I'm like you played Skyrim a bunch, I imagine.
Oh yeah.
Right?
We could get the Skyrim expert in here.
She's in the other room right now.
I thought you were talking about Rolo.
No, she's playing it right now.
That's hilarious. Yeah, do you think it's going to be a copy and paste, and they're just going to change the story a bit, and like obviously updated graphics?
I wouldn't mind too much of that. You just give me a shit ton of armor options and weapon options, and I'm going to be barely okay with that. I mean,
so
you could
go on.
You can have some cool storylines to make me follow down, but I want the interactions and the huge map, and you could wander everywhere. And I even want glitches too. give me those glitches so I can turn my character into a god. Come on now.
But that's kind of like they ended up having some glitches, and I kind of feel like the ones that they put in or the ones that Starfield had were put in there because
I was just going to suggest that a lot of game developers do that.
Felt intentional.
The fact that just at any single store you were able to just kind of like fall through the map and go to the crate that was actually the inventory of the store and take everything, that just was cheap.
It's cheap, but like with developers like From Software, those games are so hard that they intentionally have bugs, and like they'll have a very specific bug that helps you. It makes the game just a little bit easier, but they don't tell anyone. Like you literally have to wait until someone plays through the game, finds it, and then it's word of mouth. And like in Elden Ring, there's this one like little spot where a beast like runs at you, and if you like do this specific move and get rammed by the beast and fall off with the beast over the cliff, you for some reason just get plus 900. I think it was the coins or whatever. So you could just and there's a spawn right next to it, so you could literally just loop and like make a whole bunch of money, and then people would do that for like an hour, get a bunch of money and go around. But it's not like it makes the game beatable at that point. You just have a bunch of money that you can buy maybe a slightly better armor with, or better weapon, some more potions.
Right.
But yeah, so it's I would say having that like where you just fall into the inventory, like Skyrim is a little bit too easy of a game to be able to have.
Yeah, but at least with Skyrim you have to either decide to kill everybody or put the basket over the guy's head.
Yeah.
Now, some of y'all might not know, but today is a very important day. It's N7 Day.
It's what day?
It's N7 Day.
N7 Day? November 7th?
N7 is the spec ops of the Human Alliance in the Mass Effect universe. And as they have for the last 3 days, they have released a little bit of a teaser for Mass Effect 4. And
Is that shit happening?
well,
I've heard
some
this
stuff
before.
yeah, there's some stuff I know that I'm not really allowed to say. So
Oh, now all of a sudden you have these crazy
We've got an
sources.
insider, everyone.
Yeah.
a bird called me yesterday.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, Nikki. With my chest. Oh, I wish I hadn't said that. Okay, let's watch
You
this.
puffed your chest out, didn't you?
I did a little bit, yeah. We are. Yeah, those are hip.
That's 100% a chick.
You know what? This shit pisses me off. This is the third year of, hey, let's just hire some animator to animate up some random clip, and that'll keep all the Mass Effect people just begging for it.
It won't be as good as Andromeda.
I never got.
I don't know what happened. We lost him. I don't know what happened.
Oh, shucks.
It's weird. Oh, here he is.
Star Wars-ish.
I was waiting for that. I was like, I'm not going to get kicked.
So this is first off, this code is dumb as hell. I hate that they have this.
Yeah, I mean the trench coat.
Also, how dare you assume the gender? You don't know if she's
Thing's 100% a chick. Knowing Mass Effect.
Did you see those hips? Are you kidding me?
That's either a chick or Timothy Chalamet under that mask.
What'd you say his last name was?
Chalamet. Oh, I don't know. Whatever. Some French.
If you're gonna hate on him, you gotta get it right.
Sounds like a spread you put on a croissant.
But
we all laughed, so you knew what I was talking about.
Yeah.
Indeed.
That just also, let's look at this guy.
Ah, the N7.
Stupid helmet too.
The helmet I don't mind as much as the trench coat.
Yeah, I think Spud's got it right. Tron.
It
looks
like Tron. Those are. Yep.
What's up, Matt Dwayne? Those are called
Perfect.
birthing hips.
Oh yeah. What's up, Matt? Yeah. So I just, BioWare last week. I think it was last week. It might have been the week before. But BioWare started laying people off, and they have been. If you go to the BioWare website,
Leslie's
for some reason,
my tactical side is in total agreement with Leslie. Why would you have a light up target on your back? Like, yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Also, Spud is correct with laser tag.
Well, I'd love to pull something else up, but suddenly Chrome has stopped working for me.
Yikes.
Oh, hang on.
See, if you gave me powers, I could.
There we go. I think that's working.
Just kidding.
You weren't kidding.
So if you go to the BioWare website, you can see that they have job listings. And they just listed a job listing for Mass Effect. Yeah, so they just listed a job listing for senior gameplay animator for Mass Effect. And what's annoying about this is they've been dealing with not having a project manager for this game for months, years now, I think. And it just blows my mind that that a company like BioWare, who's made some really great games, can sit there and think that they can build this game and create this game without someone actually in charge of the game.
I mean, you're just gonna get another Andromeda situation.
What is this? I don't understand.
This is the listing for this.
No, the Andromeda thing. I don't
Andromeda is the original Mass Effect 4. It came out in 2015, 16, and they released it probably about 3 or 4 months too early. It was buggy as hell. You couldn't actually beat the game at the beginning. And they basically stopped supporting it like a year in.
Gotcha.
Like it was a failed attempt, and they tried connecting it to the original series with a by having like some dark overlord type thing, saying commenting on why the Andromeda mission actually started. And like Crimson Law says down here, the facial expressions were fucked. It was bad. It was months early. It's huge Mass Effect fan. I was so disappointed.
Pardon my ignorance, but in your intro, is that Mass Effect?
Yes.
Oh,
that is his final speech in the third Mass Effect game.
I see. Yeah.
Yep.
No, never got around to playing that one.
Yeah, it's definitely worth it. I need to stream it.
I see.
Yeah, those are fun games.
Yeah. But on video game topics in general, what do y'all think? Do you think it's going to be kind of like Hollywood is, where we're going through this kind of depression of content, and we'll come out the other side and everything will be better? It's just we're just going to have to take it in the teeth for a couple of years.
Of years? I think a little bit longer.
For quite some time, because they're hiring the same people that Hollywood are.
Yeah.
They're the same people that have been presented this propaganda and drinking the Kool-Aid in all the colleges that they just got out of, and they're being put into these roles and driving the people with sense out with their sensitive, reaffirming bullshit, and then they take over basically.
Look what they just did with Insomniac. They saw that there was all this online drama about which Spider-Man's actual Spider-Man and Miles Morales, and then they affirm it, and they feel the need to, which obviously means they're going to take that story, kill off Peter Parker, Miles Morales becomes the new Spider-Man. That's probably what's going to happen. And I mean, this is starting. I mean, dude, Andromeda, there was a whole bunch of that, like weird stuff in that story as well. And I don't see Hollywood or the gaming world fixing itself until
it's entertainment,
until society changes a little bit.
Yeah.
But
we need a culture shift is what it is.
What bugs me the most about video games is even the woke storylines can still be fun and good video games. So, for example, I mean, let's take Spider-Man 2. There are a lot of people that have problems with Spider-Man 2. They talk about the LGBT storyline in it. They talk about the deaf storyline in it. I think complaining about the deaf storyline is a bit much. But they talk about Miles Morales replacing Peter Parker and all that. But I haven't heard anyone say it's a bad game. I didn't have fun playing this game. It's kind of like Hogwarts Legacy. There were people that complained about the transgender bartender in Hogwarts Legacy.
Yeah, but those people I feel like didn't really even most of those people were just, that's what they do on YouTube. That's their identity, their personality.
Right.
So they kind of have to cover it and obviously cover the basis of their
They find
ideology.
a thread, they pull thread.
Me personally, I didn't feel like it was overpowering with stuff, but from what I've seen, it's just the small things, like you've got Ukraine flags hanging up and LGBT buildings painted and stuff.
All the small things.
I mean, but really, that kind of gets me. I don't really want to play shit.
No, dude, I get that, and it gets even more annoying when you get people that want to mod it so that they enjoy it, and then the companies are like, no, we're not gonna let you mod it. You'll let us mod this other stuff, but you won't let us mod the one thing we don't want to see out of it.
Right.
Yeah,
It's
that's
like
totally
no
true.
one. If you didn't come out and say you can't do this, no one would know that you let us do it.
Yep.
Yeah, it's I really don't think we're gonna get to a place where a bunch of people are hyped for one game until about GTA 6, to be honest. And that's already made and developed. I can't really speak on undeveloped games or unannounced games. You know, there could be some great ones in the works that we have no idea about. But, you know, Rockstar to me is kind of like Old Faithful at this point. They kind of tend to eat, because, I mean, there might be a little bit of like quote unquote woke stuff in GTA 5. I don't really remember that much, but those games are always they're reliable. So I don't know about you. I've always preferred the Red Dead games over GTA. So I'm waiting for GTA to come out so that they can really get cranking and rolling on Red Dead Redemption 3. I think those games are far superior, and there's almost no woke agenda going on in the Red Dead.
Say that one more
games.
time. You prefer what over what?
Red Dead Redemption series over Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah. No,
I always have been. I always have been.
I wish there were more of them.
I do too, but that's why I consider it Old Faithful, because they try. Think about all the issues we have with video games. They're released too early, or they give us a release date and they push everything out. Whereas with the Rockstar games, they take that damn near a decade to make a game to come out, and they know it's solid on the release. You can play it and have a freaking awesome time. And so that's why I've always really respected Rockstar. And look, some of the movement mechanics can be weird. It takes a second to get used to their new ones. You know, every new release, the mechanics feel a little bit odd and clunky, but then you get used to it and you can start really just like gun-hoing, because that's what those games are about, you know? And so I feel like I'd much rather these developers catch on to that, and they're just so like they just want to crank out games, you know, every 2 years, and they're either copy and pasted, so it doesn't feel like there's a change. Yeah, or they are not functioning the way that they should be functioning, and you have a whole bunch of people pissed off.
You know, Ubisoft got in big trouble a couple years ago by copying and pasting maps. The Far Cry, I think it's 4 and Primal maps are the exact same map. They're just Neolithic and modern.
My point that kind of doesn't worry me too much for Grand Theft Auto 6 is I feel like Grand Theft Auto is kind of like the South Park of like, they don't play that ball. Like they're going to do what they do, and it's probably going to be in there, but it'll be like with them making fun of Angle. You know what I'm saying?
What do you think about the stories about it's going to be a female protagonist?
In what? GTA 6?
GTA 6?
Well, I'm indifferent on that.
I feel like I would feel weird doing some of that shit that I do in that game as a female.
Well, they have the online thing. I mean,
is it not going to be an ensemble? Is it not going to be an ensemble like cast again?
I have no idea.
I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't know if there's much about it. You know, the story might follow her, but there's definitely. I would be very shocked if they didn't have 3 other playable characters in that.
Yeah,
really? Because 5 is the first time they've ever done that,
and it worked out very well.
It was very cool.
Yeah,
having Trevor to play.
Trevor was batshit crazy.
I love switching to him, and he's in his underwear on the railroad track.
He's in a dumpster.
That is the way to do it, though. Is if you are gonna be, because if they do the ensemble cast and they're trying to be inclusive at the same time, it's a very easy way to do it. Two females, two males. You know, like people are complaining about Star Wars Outlaws being a female-centric character, and you know, the argument was, well, you know, the Jedi series is a male, so you know, you guys, you know, they're trying to balance it through games, but like it kind of makes sense if you could either at the beginning of the game choose if your character is a male or female, or you know,
Especially
have the
if it's
option to play
supposed to
both.
be an open world game to begin with. Like that's, I don't know.
The first Star Wars open world game of all time.
Yeah, like give us some options.
Mm-hmm.
Daimyo, this is 100% a totally true statement.
Yeah, that is just my opinion, but I think it absolutely destroyed, because the other argument that people like to say is The Last of Us 2, and I refuse to acknowledge that game. So, but it can't lie, the mechanics in that game, very, very well done. But in terms of everything, gameplay, story, and replayability, which is a huge aspect that people like to look over with games, is I think you got to give it to Red Dead Redemption 2. It's just, I can replay that game literally once a year, no problem.
I'd need to sit down and get it because I've never played the first one or the second.
Really?
Oh, wow.
Actually, my buddy who hardly ever does YouTube or gaming or anything like that, like that's his favorite game.
Dude, that is
he like doesn't play
You're so
games.
lucky.
He's always touching grass, and
that
this guy's about to be able to go play those games for the first time.
I know, that's where I was going. Like, I want to see you, like, I want to be in Discord watching you play those games, dude, because they are absolutely
when
so fun.
That sunset, you know which one I'm talking about.
In the first
certain character sits down near the end of Red Dead 2.
I am forgetting, to be honest.
After the shootout.
Well, I'm forward to it, I suppose.
On the mountain.
The guy in the first game?
No, second game. When Arthur sits down.
Yeah, I'm not. It's been about a year since I played it, so I do forget.
Okay.
That little small part, but yeah, that reminds me, I need to download that game and start it again. It sounds like, but honestly,
I've got a lot of games I need to replay.
Crimson
Crimson Law says, I think Star Wars Outlaws looks like shit. I don't give a shit about whether or not the protagonist is female. So Crimson, I've actually got to disagree.
Yeah,
I think it looks
like shit.
Really good. I think it looks incredible. And if so they kind of make
flight
it look
mechanics
like,
are awesome. That's what's
so
intriguing.
They kind of make it look like you're going to be able to fly from the planet's surface into atmosphere. Now it could just be a loading screen that because you're flying through in the gameplay footage, and Nikki, that's what it was 14 minutes of gameplay footage. It wasn't a trailer. If they could easily have used the cloud cover as a loading screen, they do games like that, do it all the time. But if it's not a cover, if it's actually flying from the land to atmosphere into space, that's incredible, and I will buy the game just for that.
It will, but look, it kind of already has the Andor effect for me. I don't really care about Star Wars unless there's the Force and lightsabers, and people can shit on me, but that I'm not excited to play a game where you're a woman Han Solo, like essentially.
And I agree. Star Wars without the Force and without lightsabers is Star Trek in the 22nd century.
Yeah.
It's all it is.
They have so many options, and we can go on literally for a whole podcast about what Star Wars is doing wrong. But just in terms of video games, it boggles my mind that they can't figure out what we want to play. I mean, it's pretty obvious, you know? I just don't get it. And I was excited for when Ubisoft announced the Star Wars game. I was like, ooh, they've done all the Assassin's Creeds. They've got a lot of options on how to do this. I was thinking you could do, you know, force parkour essentially, right? Like where you're jumping on buildings and doing all this crazy stuff. And then I saw what what it was. And I was like, wow, this is a major
You mean like horse
disappointment.
karate?
Yeah. Yeah, I just, that game's not going to perform well, in my opinion.
Nikki, you're not a tard. I don't know. I think I think the biggest test for Ubisoft right now is Pandora, which comes out in December. Actually, I think
I'm more excited for that than Outlaws.
And what's funny is it's also a female protagonist, and I think it's telling how I haven't really heard anyone complain about that. I haven't heard anyone say, why does it have to be a woman? And I think it's a great explanation as to why people are sick of, the Force is female shit in Star Wars.
Well, and to another point, if they said we're making a Pandora game and they put you as a human female with a regular ass gun, you'd be pissed.
True.
I would be, at least. I'd be like, that's not why I like the Avatar world. Like,
do I
don't want to be
an Avatar at some point? Okay, if the angle though was that you start off as a human, and you get to see how difficult the game is as a human, but you get to achieve your avatar form, that would be kind of cool.
See, I could buy that, but don't think that's going to happen in Pandora or in Outlaws, where you start out as this outlaw and then end up as some,
listen, the
Force
whole world's
user.
been against her since day one.
Yeah.
Or whatever the line was.
I forgot. That's literally how they started the trailer.
Mm-hmm.
The whole world's been against me since my first day. Oh my God.
Poor dad.
Okay, let's move on.
I ain't never
broken.
Yo, I was eyeing you when you were opening that string cheese. How you were gonna, if you were just gonna bite into it like a savage.
I thought about it.
Yeah, exactly.
I thought about
like X-Wing does.
Yeah. Bites on it like a carrot, or if you're gonna eat it properly like a civilized person.
Bite it in the middle.
Okay.
Oh my God. So, Nikki,
The long
he's
way.
the long way.
What's up, Ray? That shit's hilarious.
Oh God.
Let's see it.
Yeah. Thought you were gonna dangle it above his mouth.
Well, you gotta catch it.
You're gonna dangle it.
You gotta dangle it. All right, that'll work.
So,
Hell yeah. Anyhow,
all of our favorite author was trending the other day. The
Who?
irreverable George R.R. Martin decided to fight back against his loyal and faithful fans. Anybody hear about this?
Well, I read it before. I'll let you carry on, but a few things to say.
So,
proceed.
George R.R. Martin, who created Game of Thrones, created A Song of Ice and Fire, created this world that I have absolutely adored, who won't finish writing his fucking book, decided to tweet this out. And I'm probably going to have to, I'm going to have to go over to X. What everyone thinks I'm doing all day, what I'm actually doing. And the first thing that kind of pisses me off about this. Can I zoom in on the... Nope, I cannot. All right, how old is that fucking keyboard? Like, holy shit, George, you're a millionaire. Buy a new fucking keyboard. Like,
that's from the
what
original
hell?
Gateway back in '98.
Yeah, like that. Also, He's got a fucking thing of Altoids. Who's he kissing in his office?
Dude, Master of the TDS's comments pretty funny.
Oh, you think those are Altoids in there?
Is AI helping you write it?
Yeah.
That's pretty funny.
Well, it's even more funnier when you remember the fact that he just finished suing people that used AI to finish the story.
I didn't know that was even. Oh, like they just
He
like
sued him
for
for
fun.
copyright, which I don't really have time to get into why that doesn't work, but that's not copyright. Who said he doesn't owe us anything?
Nikki.
Oh, no. She said she hates that argument. It must be the article. So let's come back to the article. Hang on.
As Eric heard on his that fan would see along with the book. Let's check it out. Let's see what he's doing. There he is. Looking at it. Oh, that's not a good sign. Does not look productive.
Oh, boy.
Does not look productive. No, that's
fucking RC car.
Hey, get the book written. There will be no toy cars. Hey, he's thinking, Andy. He's thinking.
He might have an idea.
I think he's thinking it. Yes, I think he's got an idea.
He's got to go to the
George
bathroom.
R. R. Martin has an
for
idea. This. Oh God. All right. Okay. Hold on. Let's see. He's gonna get to work soon. I know he is. I really know he's gonna get to work very soon. Where is he?
If this is his actual house, I really like it.
No!
Oh yeah.
Oh my god. Yeah, I know it's old.
Yeah. Did he? No! He's thinking. What's he? No!
This man did this live on TV.
How is that? He's up.
How much did they pay
He's
him
up and
for
he's
that?
down.
So he had time to do this.
He's at. Where is he now? Oh, he's buying.
Oh, my God.
Another R. Why?
How many does a man need?
I just back.
Oh my god.
Maybe he's finally getting down to work. Let's go live. Let's see what he's up to.
There's no way this is live.
Don't know where he. Oh God. To click subscribe to see even more.
Oh my god, that was actually funny.
That was
So
funny.
back to the actual important stuff here. So of course he's working on Winds of Winter, the long-awaited 6th book in his Song of Ice and Fire. But a great many fans don't think he's working fast enough. It's been 12 years since the last book came out. 12 years. And to put that in perspective, there's no more than like 4.5 years between all the other books.
Ronnie was barely alive.
Ronnie wasn't even alive when the first one came out. I was 1. First book came out in 1996. Oh no, actually no, I think it came out in 1992. Game of Thrones. 1996, yeah. So
Jeez.
there's an idea that he spends most of his time goofing around rather than writing. And yeah, then the Conan thing. That I actually didn't see that the other day when I was looking at this. That's really funny.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
But the thing that pisses me off so much about this tweet is the fact that this isn't true in the slightest. If we go, see, I saw it in the article earlier. I think this is a different article.
That was the one you sent me.
Yeah, well, so the annoying thing is that the article I read yesterday actually had a lot more in it. Hang on, let me go to my history real quick.
Don't pull that up though.
My history is actually good. I'm a good person.
Yeah.
It's also titled Game of Thrones.
my history. All right, so here's a Screen Rant article from the great writers there at Screen Rant. And this will actually make my point, and I love that they make my point for me with trying to defend him. The other thing that I really like is they say that he's frantic in the picture below. He's frantically writing on a Post-it note. If you go back and look at the meme, you can definitely tell he's writing in a book, not a Post-it note. So you're already wrong.
Oh, you're one of those. The technicality winners.
I'm a lawyer. What do you expect?
Oh, that does track. Okay.
So let's see.
Proceed. That's a tumor.
Yeah, that's funny.
All right, so I can't find it now. I don't know why it's not there anymore. But the article originally had like a list of all the other stuff he was working on. And that's my point. George R.R. Martin is not just working on Winds of Winter or House of the Dragon Season 2 or Night of the Seven Kingdoms. He's working on this other HBO show. He's an executive producer for this other HBO show by this Japanese guy. He's editing like 3 or 4 other books for other authors. He's doing all this stuff instead of giving us the fucking book. The only reason you were able to do any of this shit is because you wrote a book in 1996. And you haven't finished the damn story.
So one thing that I thought was funny that he added in there as well was like, I'm not only just working on all these projects, but I also started multiple nonprofit organizations that I need to watch out for.
Humble brag.
How about instead of starting a nonprofit, which is only going to help expand your waistband, give us the fucking book.
You think he's just sitting on it at this point, or is it not done? I said, do you think he's just sitting on it at this point, or is it just not done?
Several theories, but at this point, it's been 4,497 days since the Dance with Dragons, or 12 years, 3 months, and 24 days. That's insane. We got 3 phases of Marvel movies in that amount of time. We have the whole fucking Game of Thrones. Okay. Literally nothing could be worse than season 8. True. Just release it. Yes. George would rather watch paint dry than finish the main series. I'm going to talk about that in just a sec. He's enjoying being a celeb in Hollywood. Yep, 100%. There, I'm done ignoring you. I wasn't ignoring you. I was trying to finish a point, but I don't want you to feel ignored.
Justin,
what's up,
Justin?
So, where was I?
Game of Thrones.
Do you have any idea how little that narrows the topic down?
No, we were just talking about all the projects that he
I know, Nikki.
that he started.
Yeah, so
instead of writing his last chapter or his last
my theory of kind of what's happening is I think right around season 5 or 6, as the stuff started happening at HBO that he stopped being happy with, he said, fuck him, I'm going to change everything. You know, we know that at the beginning of the entire process, he gave D&D 3 things. He said, after they confirmed who John's mother was, because that was the test. A lot of people had come to him trying to get him to let them make a show out of this. And he'd always ask them, who is John's mother? And D&D were the first people to actually be able to answer that question. So that's why they were able to make the show. So he gave him 3 points. He gave him John's mother, who becomes king of the end, and Nikki will know the other one. I don't remember what the other one is. What is the other one? I don't remember. And then around season 5, Shireen gets burned by Stannis. So we do know that's actually going to, assuming he keeps that in there, we know that'll happen in Winter. But around season 5, D&D realized we have the biggest thing ever made. No one has made something bigger than what we're making right now. And they decided to go to HBO and say, hey, our contract's about to be up. We want more money. And HBO said, that's really cute. Make the damn show. And so they decided, okay, well, we're actually only obligated to give you another 10 episodes. So or 12 episodes. Here's 8 episodes here and 6 episodes here, and then we're done. And George decided pretty much right about then, okay, I'm done working with y'all. Y'all are assholes. I'm sick of this shit. Because he wanted 15 seasons. He wanted a huge show. And they didn't want to do that. They had already made their money. They'd already filmed the things they wanted to film. The only reason they did all this, and this is just kind of my speculation, but the only reason they did this is because they wanted to film the Red Wedding and the Battle of the Wall. That's it. And it kind of tracks because those are 2 of the biggest and best episodes of the entire show. And so they had a falling out. I think George scrapped the majority of A Dance with Dragons right there and decided that he was going to change, or not dance, Winds of Winter. I think he decided he was going to change the story up. And then changed even more when everyone blew up at season 8. Who, by the way, George got lucky because not a damn person yelled at George.
I was going to ask.
No one was angry at George.
I was going to ask, how much influence did he have in that, in where, the major bullet points of season 8? How much influence?
So he wasn't on set or doing anything with season 8. He after season 5 was his last season of actually doing anything with it.
But I wonder if he left them bullet points.
Yeah, so he provided an outline, and one of the things that he wanted Lady Stoneheart, and they refused to put Lady Stoneheart in there, and he got really upset about that. So Lady Stoneheart, there's someone that dies in the second book that comes back as Lady Stoneheart. And I think and a lot of people think it's because he really regretted killing this character off. So he brought her back. Obviously she's not in the show, and they so they're big old falling out. I think he rewrote the books. I think that's one of the reasons why it's not out yet. I think basically the whole 5-year clock restarted in 2020. And I think he's getting close to being done. I think the book will come out in 2026, and then he'll do his Dance of Dragon, or he'll do his second. Okay, so he stopped working on the set of season 4. I missed it by 1 number, Nikki. I don't know why you want to yell at me. And so he's gonna finish off his Targaryen story, and I think the reason why he wrote Fire and Blood is because he changed up the story, and I think he realized he needed to add stuff in to go the new route he wanted to go. Yes, Nikki, I would love for you if you want a link, I'll send it to you. We can yell about this. So, hang on.
Excuse the pauses. That's its concentration of getting the link.
Yeah, it is 100% that. I'm not the smartest man in the world.
Your mind can only work so much.
Oh yeah. And so, let's see. What was I saying? I think he changed up the story. I think he decided to go a different route, and I think that's the reason that he went with Fire and Blood, because he needs to. It's also, I think, the reason why they. He's made a point of saying that the show House of the Dragon is the canon, and he's heavily involved in it. And I think that's why. I think he wants. Just to tell you how you're blessed. There's a button in the bottom of StreamYards that says invite, and you mass send out that link. That's how you.
But step one, you need to make friends.
Yes. Yes. Good hell. So yeah, I think a lot of stuff changed. I think that's why he's so involved in House of the Dragon, and I think that's one of the reasons why it's so good. Is because he's involved in it, and Ryan Condal actually knows what the hell he's doing. But yeah, okay, I've been talking a lot. Thoughts, anybody? What do y'all think about the fact that
I've not seen any of House of the Dragon or Game of Thrones. So
wow,
yeah, that's another thing that it'll be my first on. So you'll have to take it easy on me.
So lucky.
Yeah, well, so I feel like a majority of this is all due to streaming and having so many subscriptions already. Does
George have something he wants to say?
Oh man, I was about to do is laugh and I totally blanked out. Hi guys.
Hey, what's up?
I'm here to crash the party.
Are you good?
So
Okay.
Thoughts on George deciding to diss his entire fan base?
Oh God, where do I even begin? I think the only reason he has a fan base is because of the mainline story. And like the more he pushes that away, the less people are gonna like invest in his stuff. Because A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms is my favorite story of his, right?
Yeah.
So I'm conflicted about it going to live action or getting a show or whatever. Because even that book needs a second one. So it's like, you know, when is it gonna fucking end? Close out your main story unless they're planning on changing something with that Jon Snow show, but even then, nothing's confirmed. In fact, today they were saying it has absolutely like not even been talked about at all. So I don't know.
Yeah, I'm getting really annoyed with they keep making all these plans. You could see it in I think it was in between 7 and 8. They basically said, "Hey, we've got ideas for like 9 different shows. Only one of them has actually been done, House of the Dragon." They destroyed all the tapes of the Long Night show they were working on.
Dude, if anything, having this success of House of the Dragon should make him want to finish and change that stupid ending of season 8. A lot of people didn't give House of the Dragon a chance because of how season 8 ended.
I was 100% off. I was not going to watch it. I told everybody, do not watch this shit.
I was the opposite. I was like, this is going to be
4
fire,
days.
bro.
Yeah, I lasted 4 days. On the 4th day, on Wednesday, a buddy of mine called me and said, you need to watch it.
I just hate that idea. I hate when people, I was saying that this is mainly like libtards that do this, but they're like, George doesn't owe you anything. Be grateful, blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, see, I would understand that if he was like in a complete hiatus on everything. But the fact that every fucking week this guy releases some stupid wild card shit that nobody is reading, and he's just like
writes a fucking video game,
bro. Yes. So the fact that he's not giving importance to the main story that launched his career, essentially, because I know he has other stuff, but this is obviously what propelled him to have the opportunities he has now. The fact that he neglects it so much is such a I don't fucking get it. If I would have seen season 8, I'd be like, shit, I'm doing nothing but finishing this fucking book now because this is ruining future prospects for me, right? But now he's got the Hollywood bug at 74 years old.
So honest question for both of you guys. Do you think there's a possibility that he feels like he's in a hole with the story and doesn't know where to take it because of what's happened with season 8 and is almost afraid of like how people are going to like react to it?
I say yes. Especially, you know what? And I've always had this theory too. This book is going to be harder to write than A Dream of Spring because this book, there's so much that has to be resolved. Like he still has to bring Daenerys back to Westeros. Like she's still not there. The previous book literally ends with Jon dead at the fucking wall. Okay. So I imagine that it could be hard, but again, 12 years. Okay?
Yeah, for sure.
That's wild to me. Like he knows how it ends. It's the getting there that he's like having trouble with. And I think, of course, he's going to be a little more self-conscious now because of season 8. But bro, you're going to disappoint people no matter what you do. Just do it. It cannot be worse than season 8.
Yeah, they're go on.
And the idea, one of the things I hate is the idea that I've seen a lot of people talking about lately that he has them written, but he's so scared of what the fans are going to do that he's waiting until he dies to release them.
Not a good.
Okay, but that's A Dream of Spring. He can put that off as long as he wants. At least give us Wins a Winner, man. Like he's released so many chapters too already. It's like, dude,
there's like 20 chapters out, aren't there?
Yeah, something crazy like that. Like, and I know one of them was like a reading he did, and someone like transcribed it or something.
Yeah, love that.
God, it just really sucks because you want to be excited for these shows coming out. You know, most of them are going to be good because he's never letting go, creative control again.
Oh, yeah.
So you know they're going to be good, but it's like, how can you cheer for that knowing that like these are just added reasons as to why he's delaying and doing this? And if he's stuck, then just split the book in half, dude.
Yeah,
he was going to do that before.
The third book.
Yeah.
The third book became the third and fourth book, or no, the fourth book became the fourth and fifth.
Yeah, he did some crazy shit there. But the point is like, you don't have to stick to what is it, 6 books? I can't count right now. Into 7,
5, right? Yeah, so 7 is what you want.
Okay, you don't have to stick to that, dude. You can add an extra book.
Another one. We'll take 8 books.
Oh my god! And we're supposed to get a part 2 to Fire and Blood also. So like, there's not one series this motherfucker has that's complete.
Yeah, I think, like I said, I think the whole reason that Fire and Blood was done is because he had to add information about the Targaryens so that where he's going makes sense.
Does he just not really have the ability to come up with a good ending that he's satisfied with? Like, do you think he keeps trying to make one, but then it's like, nah, that's not good enough?
He had an ending. So his ending was that Bran becomes king, which is the shit ending. At least on TV.
This is what I was gonna yell at you about. So D&D did get the job because they're nerds and they guessed the right answer. But the 3 mainline things is the Hodor reveal. That's how he got his name, Hodor or whatever. The Shireen thing and the Bran is king thing. But I think I read somewhere that he might be walking back on the Bran is king thing.
Yeah, so I definitely read about that too.
So I think another thing that contributed to his delay in all of this was that's my version. That's my translation. The last episode he wrote was in season 3. I believe it might have been Joffrey's wedding, or there's one in season 4.
Season 4, episode 2.
Okay, so he did that, and then they always said that he didn't want the shows to outpace him, and they did by a mile.
Yeah.
And I think that made him even saltier. And just, I wouldn't doubt at one point if he probably thought to himself, I'm not finishing this, fuck it. And then like now he's forced himself to continue to do it because he must have been he was not happy with what happened. But that's his own damn fault.
That's
probably
entirely
extremely comfortable at the moment too. And like, what's the real incentive to keep going?
Well, and if he has time to record something for a late night show with Conan, he
before the show was even over.
Yeah, he probably has
being
time.
a goof,
Right?
and
Yeah,
kind
that
of
probably was
pushing
like
back
10
on
hours
the-
of recording.
Yeah.
Well, and
Well,
you know,
that's probably pushing
Dog
back on
can-
the pressure on him, which he
Dog
probably
can help
feels like.
explain how long that took. How long would it have taken for you to get your crane out there to crane him up?
You know that's not really George, right?
Not long.
Oh, that's not.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was.
You think this old fat fart is gonna be jumping around like that?
Rolling down a hill.
Oh my god!
Yeah, it looks just like him
As
for
soon as
sure.
he started rolling down that thing, I was like, "Oh god, there goes his hip."
That's the real reason we haven't gotten the books yet.
Yeah,
He's too
He
busy
just broke
jumping
his
around
brain.
naked.
Yeah.
He's out there horse assing.
And the trailer is gonna be pretty soon.
No,
too.
For season 2, yeah.
I'm so
That,
excited for that.
I think it's coming out this week. It's either coming out this week or next week.
Maybe a
Everything's
little
wrapped,
outside
like all.
perspective, but, like,
The minute the actors strike officially ends, I think it's gonna come out because I mean, I don't know what the guidelines are for that, but I'm sure they would want the actors to like hype it up, you know, and they wouldn't be able to do that shit right now.
Is all post production?
No, sure they can. They're all
Right, but it's in bad
Right.
taste because they weren't allowed to sympathy strike. That was part of the unions for the UK.
Right.
So I'm sure they would want to do something to show that they're like being respectful or whatever the fuck. But I just say drop that shit.
Yeah,
These
for
people.
real.
Yeah.
I agree.
I need to
agree.
see it. I'm waiting.
Are we in favor of these strikes, or do we think they're silly? I don't know how everybody
think
feels
they're-
about them.
So I could understand the writer strike because once again, the problem with the advertisement for the writer strike was all you saw was, you know, what those top 3 or 4% of writers were wanting. But the way the strike works is the union sends out a "what do you want" card, and everyone replies and says, you know, I want another $1,000. I want 2% equity in this. I want this. I want this. And you put them all together and you give your list of demands to the studio. And the studios did a really good job of making sure that we knew what those top 3% wanted and not what the bottom 30% wanted.
Right.
So I kind of get that. But the actor strike is dumb as shit, especially because they only did it because they thought they'd be able to strong arm the studios.
They could leverage.
Yeah.
Right.
I think unions are so outdated.
Yeah.
There was
Agreed.
a place for them back then, but unions are just commie institutions in my
Mhm.
opinion now. But I will say the whole AI thing, I can kind of understand the worry about that because essentially you're not going to need actors anymore at some point, you know?
Well, the thing is, the courts already fixed that. The courts just said AI is not copyrightable, which means a studio cannot, if they want to make money off the thing, is it going
Right,
to be able
but
to use...
here's the caveat. I could be wrong, but here's the caveat. There's gonna be actors that do sign agreements to let them use AI. They're not gonna care. What's to stop the studios from just using those more than hiring actual actors at that point? 'Cause eventually, enough people are gonna be down for. Like I know, James Earl Jones already signed away his voice, so it's
true.
I don't know.
God, that stuff is creepy.
I hate it. You can't trust anything now. Like I saw some shit the other day and I'm like, this is probably AI. Like I don't believe anything I see anymore.
Well, you know who has a movie coming out next year? James Dean.
Oh, that's creepy.
Who's been dead for 40 years. 50 years, actually, I think.
He died on my birthday. Not like the day I was born, but like the day. Some random fact. That's scary.
California. Okay, I think for once in my life, I might be George R. Martin'd out. Nikki, you want to stick around and talk about Rebel Moon?
If you want, I'm probably just gonna roast it.
Well, so my the thing that I found interesting is that what's his name? Zack Snyder confirms Rebel Moon and Army of the Dead share a
Man, that
universe.
shit's stupid.
He's
And
such a retard.
Yeah,
what's
that shit's
so
retarded.
dumb about this is it's the same thing. It's done for the same reason as Matthew Vaughn telling everyone that Argyle and Kingsman are set in the same universe. Do you know why the MCU worked? Of course y'all do. Y'all are smart. Because they didn't, that wasn't the plan. They made a movie. It did really well. They said, let's make another one. And it did really well. And then they made Thor and it did okay.
It was a natural progression.
Yes. They didn't start with the MCU.
So this is almost on point with what AMC did with Breaking Bad and The Walking Dead. So he buys that, Walter White buys that red Charger, or right, was that a Charger or a Camaro? I think, whatever. He buys this car with his drug money, and then in The Walking Dead, Glenn steals a red, the same exact car, and then months later they come out and say The Walking Dead is actually in the same universe as Breaking Bad, and Walter's blue meth actually started the zombie apocalypse. And
are you serious?
I swear to God, you can find a bunch of articles about this and how Gus was the first zombie because he blows up, and there was this really weird scene. And I remember a bunch of people talking about how okay, if Gus got hit with a bomb and half of his brain's blown out, how can he stand up and walk out of the hospital room?
And correct his tie, yeah.
Yeah, and then they tie it back to The Walking Dead somehow months later, years later, probably. It's stupid in my opinion.
That is the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
But it's kind of on point with this. I don't know if you read into this. They connect it somehow. There's a spaceship in the movie. I didn't watch. What's it called? Oh no. Yeah, the zombie one that he did. Because that's what they're connecting it to, right?
So Zach is connecting Rebel Moon with Army of the Dead.
Yeah.
I didn't watch Army of the Dead either.
That's what I was saying. I didn't watch that.
And I bet you I know how this is gonna go. It's just gonna be different planets, so it's the laziest, easiest thing to build a universe. You can, they're part of the same universe. So eat shit, bro.
Yeah, you'll hear in the story that that the reason they left the original planet was because of this Army of the Dead, and it'll be that on the nail about it.
And that confirms or validates my opinion of the trailer when I first saw it. I'm like, this is like a video game. It reminded me of a video game trailer for some,
which I think is why I liked the trailer. I thought there was a lot of what's the word?
It just reminded me too much. I get drawing inspiration from, but it was too much of a mix of Harry Potter, Star Wars with an actual literal Nazi twist to it. It just felt too obvious. What the hell is this?
Yeah, and plus before the trailer even came out, he was marketing it as he used his whole backstory of presenting this story to Lucasfilm. And then they deny it, and then then he has to mess around with what the lightsaber idea was.
You know who sells ideas like that are people that make fan films.
Yeah.
You don't do that to promote your movie. Imagine if. Go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm good.
No, you were on a point. Go ahead. Keep going.
I forgot it already. Go ahead.
Oh shit. I'm sorry. I was saying with all these universes, the theory that all the Pixar movies are all one universe as well.
Oh my god.
Yeah. I've seen Special Ray's comment, James
but that's actually kind of cute.
Yeah, there's interesting little nuggets in there that are maybe.
Yeah, well, because the only things all they do connect them are I think it's one of the connections between Monsters Inc. and Toy Story is in one of the kids' rooms.
They're both fake.
Ball that's in Toy Story.
I'm pretty sure the toilet seat cover is Sully's hide.
That is a lot of mind bending you have to do. Kind of like the theory of Harrison Ford. Indy and Han Solo being the same freaking character.
Oh yeah, that he like crash landed or something like that.
Yeah, it's so stupid.
Well, Solo killed that one anyway.
I think there's part of it too where Zack Snyder knew he has this whole fanboy club, and
100%.
you know,
Bro,
like,
that is what I say all the time. I'm sorry to cut you off, but
no, you're good.
This is what keeps Snyder relevant is that he knows people are gonna do his dirty work. He knows people are gonna like beat his actual resume. Like,
bro threw his own con. Who does that?
Dude, that is such a
Did you
narcissistic.
really?
Yeah,
Yes.
have you ever heard of a Feige con? No.
Yeah, it's called San Diego.
Right.
Yeah, but
Hall
it's
H,
everybody.
but
And I wouldn't
yeah.
doubt that Snyder Sims organized that con. But the point is that he goes to it and like he loves it.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god, I can't.
He's like, suck on this. Walks
Dude,
in the
that is
crowd. Like,
so weird.
That's what it should be called, Crimson Law. That's for sure.
Yes.
Yeah, I can't actually highlight that though.
You're right. We'll just we know.
Look, I have my obviously I do not like Snyder, but I'm gonna watch it with an open mind because I would want it to be cool, but I can't help it. That's the impression the trailer gave me. I couldn't stop thinking about these other things.
Right.
It's bad. Like Game of Thrones is heavily inspired by Dune, but I don't think of Dune. Maybe like only if it's a super specific reference, but I don't watch Game of Thrones thinking about Dune. Like
Exactly. Yeah. It's just everyone's doing this now. We keep getting all of these this movie in this universe with this thing. It's like just make a movie.
I mean, you can blame that on MCU. I mean,
100%.
Everyone tried.
It's the success of
Yeah,
of the MCU.
oh, and never mind the fact that this idiot has Anthony Hopkins and he's just a voice.
Yeah, he's a robot.
Bro. What an L.
Well,
yeah,
I mean,
for
at
real.
least he got an actual actor to voice a robot and not some diva with her head up her ass so far that she
True, and I don't
smells
doubt
her
it's
own
gonna be a
esophagus.
cool character, but damn, like that's Sir Anthony Hopkins, okay?
Yep.
You're not gonna use him? That's crazy.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
not.
And I really can't. I can't get away from the lava blades thing. I think it's so dumb. Like, I mean, seriously, because if you presented an idea of, like for Star Wars and then realized it wasn't going to happen, make it swords. Don't like he's trying. It seems like he's trying way too hard to like. Well, no, I still need some crazy,
You can even make enchanted swords. Like they did it in Game of Thrones. He found a way to make them magical. Like
the lava blade thing makes zero sense though. Like even on a science fiction level, like what? How do you
Snyder, bro?
You just have lava in a tube or what? Like I don't know. I'm kind of hating now. At this point.
He really should have just done vibroblades and not called them vibroblades. Moving swords.
But that's also like what Dune
Frequency
uses,
blades.
right?
What Special Ray said, plasma blades.
That actually sounds cool. Doesn't
Yeah.
it?
Yeah.
Halo. Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
Or just regular swords would have worked.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not wrong there. Or let's see. So, and again, this is one of the problems that sci-fi things find themselves in now. We are speeding around the galaxy in spaceships, and we're still using bladed weapons. Like Star Wars can do that because it's Star Wars. It did it first.
Well, there's also a purpose that makes the blades more like the force counteracts the outdatedness of it.
This hey, what's that anime thing? Attila Battle Angel?
Akira or Alita.
This Alita Battle Angel looking chick shows up with these swords. Okay, I'll just stand 20 feet away from her and shoot her.
Yeah, yeah, that's true.
Yeah, because without the force, you can't really deflect shit because you don't have that premonition. So that kind of ends up becoming pointless, which is why non-force users don't use lightsabers in Star Wars. Not Disney Star Wars, but Star Wars.
Well, who knows? She could easily have some sort of like witchcraft that he has cooking up.
She has plot armor.
Oh yeah.
I would prefer for them to even do something similar to what the Night Sisters did with the Mother Talisman sword. No.
Yeah, I hear that.
No.
What is this?
That's like the main like.
That's a Baphomet demonic
Yeah.
shit.
It's Helena, isn't it?
Oh my god.
That was pretty good.
Is Zach okay?
This is like his acid trip Star Wars. Like he's trying to be so edgy that he thinks people are just gonna like love it.
And even before his movie's a success or not, he's launched a
part two.
A part 2 and tabletop games.
Well,
and like,
the tabletop lawsuit there.
I understand, but he's still put in production for it, right?
Well, so that's what's so crazy. Go read the lawsuit. It's insane.
I watched
the
your
amount
video.
of stuff that they talked about.
We'll leave that to
they
you.
had to do to make that thing to make Rebel Moon.
Because his
succeed.
Sims are gonna fucking buy it. That's the thing, and it's easy to take a chance on Zach through streaming because his Sims probably don't even have money. So yeah, Netflix, I'll watch it. Shit, like it's gonna give him that watch time. But his plan with this is to be so extravagant and over the top with the fantasy elements that it's gonna trick people into thinking, "Oh my god, this is so cool." That's what's gonna happen.
And he's talked about how like he's worked on this for 12 years or something, and how he plans on franchising this. You know,
because he can do under 2 hours.
I'm pretty sure they said there's already a 4-hour cut like done. I don't know if you guys heard about that yet.
Great. More release the Rebel Moon cut, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh well, again, that's what he's probably gonna like that stroking of the ego from his fanboys. You know,
this picture
chanting
right
to do what?
Now I'm gonna get yelled at when I say this sentence. But I've never seen Firefly.
I haven't.
But does this not look like some sort of like cheap version of Firefly?
I'm sorry, I don't even know what
Jax
Firefly is.
From Sons of Anarchy?
Yeah. Charles
Charlie
Hammond.
Ham.
I see. He can never be another character.
And then what's his name from the terrible Aragon movie? He was also in Fast 7 and the really bad King Arthur movie.
Are you still talking about Charlie Ham?
No, the black guy right here.
Okay, you just didn't want to say that. The guy in Gladiator, the African dude, I forget.
Yes. No.
Yeah.
They're two different people.
Yeah.
They're two different people.
You're talking about the guy on the right of this photo? No, is he not in Gladiator?
What the fuck is going on?
Wasn't he in?
He's in Gladiator.
Wasn't he in Guardians of the Galaxy as well?
Oh, are you talking about the guy that goes who? Guardians of the Galaxy? I think I know what you're talking about.
Oh wait, shit.
I think so.
No. So
that dude's in everything.
Because he had the
it's
the guy in Gladiator.
Jimon Hansu. Are they different people?
God, hashtag not all black guys. Jeez.
I was waiting for it.
I swear to God,
They
that's
are.
the same guy.
They are.
They all look
I know,
the
that's
same.
what
I
I
mean,
thought.
Careful, you'll get clipped.
yeah. Well,
What city was he raised in?
I mean, the cast looks fine too. Like, I'm sure they're all great actors. It's just gonna be, oh my god, it's gonna be over the top.
Racist.
That's been confirmed, I think, a while back.
Kind of like how everybody always confuses the guy that played Morpheus in Matrix with
that is so
Lawrence Fishburne.
Yeah.
That shit is so funny.
I did that. I'm not gonna lie.
Lawrence Fishburne did a Super Bowl commercial. The next day, Samuel L. Jackson was on the news. He's been interviewed, I assume, for something with Marvel. And the guy goes, "So how is it being in that Super Bowl commercial?" And you could just see everyone's like, "Oh, nope." He goes,
okay, but that's
I'm
way
not
off.
Lawrence Fishburne.
But I wasn't even talking about with Samuel L. Jackson. There's somebody else. Hold on. Now it's gonna bother me. Morpheus.
Lawrence Fishburne.
Okay. There's another person. I'm gonna stop talking.
Salty Inferno's about to get shadow banned.
Yeah.
Oh my god. So, Nikki, I'm gonna make an assumption here, based on zero facts, that you like horror movies.
Oh.
Am I right about that?
How'd you know?
Because you're a girl, and girls seem to love horror movies. I don't get it, but
So you're just gonna say I'm emo, which would have been right as well.
but what do you think? And this kind of goes into a bigger, and I think probably our last discussion topic. But what do you think about the success of Five Nights at Freddy's?
You know, I still haven't seen it, but I'm glad that because that's the thing. Like, I loosely call myself a horror fan now because I have not seen any new horror in the last like 5 years because it stopped being good, in my opinion. I think it kind of like died down after maybe American Horror Story stopped being good. I think horror just never caught my eye again. But I do want to watch Five Nights at Freddy's because I'm hearing good things about it, and I like that PETA from Hunger Games. He finally has another movie. So
the thing that really kind of impresses me about this is it's made $225 million on a $25 million budget.
That's great.
Now we know horror has a history of doing that. Horror is probably one of the only genres that you can really make shit for cheap and do really well in the box office. But there are several other movies in the last year that have done that. Sound of Freedom was what, $8 million. The Creator is $90 million, but they're getting like $50 million back for filming over in Thailand. You've got all these different movies that are going practical, being made for sub 100 and making hundreds of millions.
Is Creator already out?
The Creator, yeah, it came out 2 months ago.
Special Ray had a lot of good things to say about that.
Yeah, September 15th.
I think when people go to watch horror movies, they go with very tempered expectations because it's not like horror movies are like Oscar level, quality stuff. So
not anymore.
Yeah, and I
there
think
were
too,
some really good ones.
People need to understand that jump scare movies are not the same as horror movies.
Fair.
And I think that's a big reason why I've been turned off from modern horror movies because they just result to like jump scares. Like I think the last horror movie I saw in theaters was it The Nun? And I was like, bro, this is garbage. Like
I was gonna say, do you consider like The Conjuring and Insidious like horror? And then
that's horror. Because you don't want that shit in your house.
I was gonna say, thriller and suspense, like without the jump scare stuff, like can be they can be pretty good movies, and especially when they're they're surrounding like topics of witchcraft and demonic possessions, like those movies, like it wasn't Insidious. It was there's that one really fucked up movie.
Here's a good example of a horror franchise that I think started off on a really high note and then kind of went down over time was the Paranormal Activity franchise.
I knew it.
Those first 2-3 movies are scary as fuck, especially the first one. And a lot of it was jump scares, but it was with something terrifying that you couldn't see. But as that franchise went on, they just resulted completely to jump scares with adding no lore really or like any value to the story.
Yeah.
So
scary.
Hereditary could be like put up as a legitimately like well done movie, like really good production. Yeah, it was creepy as shit.
Which one?
Hereditary.
That's
one of the ones that I saw that I'm like, nope.
That shit's scary, and it's like
came out like 4 years ago that everyone was like, "I'm going to church and sleeping with the night on."
No, that movie legitimately scared the shit out of me, and it wasn't jump scares. It was just the
Is it demonic?
It's demonic. Yeah, it's a demonic possession, and it's yeah, exactly. And there were and they chose this. I'm gonna be really PC about this, but this like girl actor who like looked not right, so like and on top of that the story, like she was possessed and their mother died.
Special Ray?
Yes, that is where I was going with that. But
you're just desensitized because you're over the top.
No, it was legitimately. It was.
Ooh.
I did not enjoy watching that.
That's what I'm saying. He's desensitized. This guy watches like horror movies to fall asleep. So
yeah, no, I'm talking about a horror movie in terms of like the actual productions and stuff, and not being just jump scare like centric. You know,
Sure.
like,
Yeah.
Conjuring is horrifying. Like that movie actually really scared me.
And The Witch, you could also say that too. It wasn't as like scary or anything, but it was a well done movie. And you know, Robert Eggers is known for making really good movies, in my opinion. So
I think the last horror movie I saw was Mama. And I saw it on accident because it was on and I didn't know where my remote was.
He clicked on it thinking it was going to be a different.
You're that lazy, so you're just like, oh fuck it, I'm just gonna watch this movie. I don't know.
Sort of, yeah. I kind of got intrigued because as a good horror movie does, it's not 100% in the dark scary. It's it has the jump scares, but it also has the story and the actual genuine scareness. But I don't do horror. I don't do demonic shit. I don't invite that shit into my life. I think the worst horror shit I did is Saw, and
that's definitely gore.
That's
but
like a murder mystery with gore.
But see, that's how I'm able to handle it.
I'll fight you on that one because the first few, what made it real to me in the way that maybe it could happen to you is someone maybe is watching you to punish you, and you just wake up one day and you're just like, you're not in your room. That to me is probably one of the scariest things that could ever happen. You just wake up and you're not in your room. But I don't know.
It turned into a murder mystery though.
Yeah, no, it sucked later on.
Definitely.
But I guess so. Here's a hot take for horror. I think one of the greatest horror movies is The Ring, because I remember when that came out when I was in high school. Dude, it's a good movie. There's actual like lore behind it, and Naomi Watts is really good in that movie. That shit truly scared the crap out of me when I was in high school.
So
when it's like based around something real, it makes it just it makes you not want to watch it.
Yeah.
What are you guys' thoughts on The Shining? Because that's like kind of
I've never seen it.
It's kind of known though as like one of the greatest horror movies of that time, and also being made by Kubrick, like it gets a lot of love just in the film industry.
I think it gets a lot of love. I think Kubrick has crazier fans than Zack Snyder.
Well, Jack Nicholson is amazing in that movie.
He really is. I personally liked that. Like that is one of my.
I visited that hotel.
Like horror.
In 2018, I was in Colorado and I went to the Stanley Hotel where that was filmed. It is a gorgeous hotel. They have like a little mini maze in the front too, like the movie, and they do tours. But it's like behind a mountain, and I was picturing being stuck there in winter. It's pitch black. Like you'd be surrounded by snow. You have nowhere to go. I'm like, oh my god, yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, and that scene where he wakes up frozen in the snow, this axe, like.
Yeah, right. It's a jump scare movie, but it has like lore to it. It's not just for the sake of it being like stupid jump scare.
Mm-hmm.
There's like creepy reasons.
It was in that jump scare era though. I feel like.
Oh yeah. That's like when it started because
you know what I mean? Because it went from like the somewhat goofy like let's kill horny teenagers kind of scary movies to I feel like it pivoted to like The Ring and Signs and shit like that.
Blair Witch started this era that Paranormal Activity falls into with the whole shaky cam first person thing.
Yeah.
Everybody was obsessed with Blair Witch. I thought it was all right. I didn't see.
I never saw it.
The hype behind it. It's kind of, if you look at it back on it now, it did not age well. It's just it looks so corny now. But at the time, there had never really been movies like that in first person, like home recording crap.
But that was another one that did the whole thing cost like a couple grand?
Yeah.
And it made millions of dollars.
Yep.
What was the other like shaky
District 9.
No, Cloverfield.
Oh yeah,
that movie was straight up
J.J. Abrams movie.
sucked.
Yeah,
I heard of it, but I don't know. I've never seen it.
I couldn't stand it because I was like, "Oh, cool! Like alien attack." Nah, you can't see shit.
Yeah,
you're trying to keep your balance watching the damn movie.
It was. I imagine it was so that they didn't have to actually make the skeleton.
Cloverfield was so ignorant. What? That's a really interesting.
Such a weird comment.
Yeah. What was it ignorant of?
What was the ignorance in it?
Filmmaking, maybe? I don't know.
They showed the Klingon beings.
I think Ray is an activist now.
Bipedal instead of tripedal.
The Klingon.
I'm just.
Yeah.
Ray's an activist now.
Now?
Next week on Aliens and Conspiracies.
People are staring at me.
That's a secret. That's a secret podcast.
Okay.
So yesterday, really quick, yesterday was Stranger Things Day. I don't know who's a Stranger Things fan here, but
I watch them. I've watched every single one. I like it.
I think the last season definitely has a lot of horror elements to it.
100% was one like it felt way more horror centric than the other seasons. Like the other ones felt a little bit more sci-fi. I don't know if that's correct. You know,
I hope they go all out with the horror for this last season.
You said yesterday you saw something about it.
Well, they released like the first sentence of the script or something like that.
And then that one person died.
It was the day Will Byers goes missing in season 1. Yesterday. It was like the anniversary.
Yeah, no, I like those.
I have liked it
so
so
when
far.
Game of Thrones was coming out, I'd be like, dude, I can't believe Jon dies.
What?
So like when Game of Thrones was coming out after it really got big after like season 3, I'd just start talking to people and be like, dude, can you believe this guy dies in Game of Thrones? And they'd be like, what? I don't know.
Wow, you're an asshole.
A little bit. Okay, so final thoughts, anybody?
No.
Good talk.
Wow. Pat's on back.
Good shower. See you in the game.
Yeah. You should have just ended it there.
And Dog might be back next week. I haven't decided.
Hey,
I'm replacing him.
Hey, moving up in the world.
Oh wow.
I like how I'm still here.
That female representation.
Yeah, you just.
Yeah, you're
That's
the
why you're
only
biting your
white.
tongue.
You're the only white male that shows up normally. So,
hello.
Are you guys planning on watching the Marvels?
Nah.
I don't think so.
I'll wait for your review and Matt's opinion on it.
It is really funny that obviously to watch your video last night about it, and it took that video at 9:00 last night for me to realize who the black chick is.
Oh yeah, Monica Rambeau.
Photon?
Black Girl Magic.
Who she's.
That was horrible. Like I couldn't believe. Like when I heard Nick Fury say that, I'm like, they should have just had him like flick his hands and like put his hand on his hip and just say Black Girl Magic, because it completely cucked that character.
You're gonna be sitting there the entire time clicking your heels going, there's no place like 2010. There's no place like 2010. There's no place like 2010.
It's really bad.
Yeah, I'm not gonna watch it.
And it wasn't
why is everything so disappointing right now? Just in the nick of time when we want to get into YouTubing and talking about things that we like damn it. That's so aggravating.
I'm gonna say something that I've been saying since Disney Plus launched, and like people gave me hate for it at the time, especially at the Den of Nerds. But Star Wars and Marvel do not belong on streaming. They should only be movies.
Yeah,
no, I agree with you.
Definitely.
And now more than ever, I feel so validated because this is just ridiculous.
So the only thing from Phase 4 that I thought was a decent watch was Guardians of the Galaxy 3. And this is coming from someone that I don't read comics, and I didn't before. But I just, in terms of MCU, I enjoyed Guardians 3. Like I don't really know the lore behind it. But you know, Love and Thunder, I got through like 30 minutes to 45 minutes.
It pissed me
and then
off.
I turned it off. I was like, I'm not gonna
All I'm gonna
Everything
say
is a joke
is
now.
Yeah.
I'll take my Natalie Portman skinny.
Yeah, not ripped.
Yeah.
Like fucking jacked.
That movie was just
I don't need
ridiculous.
Natalie Portman picking me
I
up.
think I got to the scene where she's in the. No, it was past the cancer bed, but when she got the when she like pulled the Mjolnir, I was like, all right, well, I just like
Mjolnir.
Okay, dude.
It was the ultimate girl power bullshit.
Yeah, it really was. Like the whole scene was.
My
and
hammer.
It didn't.
And it was copying the fucking thing from Endgame.
Oh,
I like to think that Taika overdid it with her, and I know this is not the case, but maybe he went extra girl power with her because the reason she wasn't in the third movie is she walked away because Patty Jenkins wasn't going to be directing it anymore. So it was like in a solidarity kind of bullshit. It's like, you know what? Here's some muscles.
Here,
So
girl.
this was white girl power.
Yeah.
God, she's such an activist. Oh my god.
Yeah,
Natalie
that's
Portman?
really bad. Yeah, her
It
and
breaks
Emma
my heart.
Watson.
Yeah.
I know.
The
As long as she
worst.
doesn't talk in bed, I'm okay.
J-Law isn't great either when it comes to that.
Yeah, but I think with her,
What?
how can I say this nicely?
I don't think you can.
She's
Been
not
hours, 30 minutes.
she's not spiteful with it because
Yeah,
she's just
yeah.
kind of like when everybody dogged her for saying the whole there's never been a female whatever the hell. I don't think she even meant it the way she said it. She's just a little bit of an airhead is my
Well,
thing.
yeah,
That's fair. That's
the big
fair.
problem
Yeah.
is that
She lives
it
in a
was
different
the
world
other
than us.
people
Yeah.
on the. If you go back and watch the thing, it's the other people that start that conversation.
Yeah.
Of course,
They're
yeah.
gotcha questions that you can't really answer like without just saying kind of some of the shit she said. And it's like obviously it's not true, but she's just a little bit of an airhead is my theory about because if she was really that much of an activist, she wouldn't be butt ass naked in this last movie on like a fight scene on a beach, not even a love scene. It's just her body parts flailing everywhere. Maybe it's not really her body, but
Wait,
It probably
when
is.
did we pivot to Jennifer Lawrence? What?
because we were talking about feminists.
You got excited because you thought we were talking about Natalie Portman.
Yeah,
Yeah, I did. I was like, what movie is this? What?
I forgot. It's on Netflix, I think.
It's the
now.
highest grossing
Oh no,
movie
no.
ever.
We just watched that the other night, and my wife looked at me. She's like, "Is she actually on a beach, butt ass naked right now, fighting people?"
Yeah,
It looks like it. Yeah, pretty funny.
maybe it's fake titties, but I don't know. I wouldn't put it past her and not give a shit.
Who knows?
But it's definitely
Yeah, I
more
doubt
her
it.
But, jeez, I don't know. I feel like in the case of Natalie, like she's been in that fight since she was young. You know, I think she just lives in a completely different reality than we do.
Oh yeah, all
Like
celebrities.
money struggles are never a thing. I don't know.
Wouldn't
I'm
that
sure
be
she has
awesome?
other.
Sundowners.
Yeah, Sundowners is probably drugged the fuck out right now.
Oh, he is high as a
Yeah.
kite.
Jennifer Lawrence has real.
She has real. Yes,
And then
they're real
retract-
Sundowners. They're real.
Retracts a message after that. Oh my god! So I think it derailed enough, right?
Yeah, I think we're gonna call it a night. Everybody,
okay.
thank you so much for coming on. Dog, Daniel, thank you for being here. Nikki,
Thanks for
thank you so
having
much
me,
for
man.
hopping
No
on.
problem. Sorry. It took over.
Yeah, this is gonna be our Tuesday night or my Tuesday night thing. If you want to come on, send me a message.
Sounds good.
As always, thank you for stopping by.
Like
Have a
and
good night.
sub.
Bye.
Later, guys.